it's Candid Keto here. Today it's just going to be me. This is a segment on how I personally lost a lot of weight on keto. I don't know if I have some followers here on this channel that also subscribe to me on my beauty channel, but I did make a video on that channel talking a little bit about my first round with keto and how I lost so much weight, and that was before I got pregnant. And I'd like to touch base and clear some things up about that. So I've known about keto for a very, very long time. I've actually been researching keto. I've known about it for about 3 years now. When I first found out about it, I was in my senior year of high school, and before that I was struggling a lot with personal image issues. I had went on so many fad diets. I was doing horrible things to my body to try and lose weight because I just felt terrible about myself. Once girls get into puberty and high school, you have this image in your head that you're supposed to be so skinny, and that's just how it's supposed to be. But my idea of beauty has changed, and it was even changing when I was a senior. And when I came across the keto diet, I probably wasn't going into it for the right reasons at the time, because still I was in high school and I was just looking for a quick weight loss, and who knows, it could have been unhealthy, but I was just gonna try it out. And when I did that the first time, I don't think I was truly in ketosis. I lost weight, but I wasn't doing it the healthy way. I was claiming to do keto, but I wasn't. I was eating keto foods, but then I would be cheating, and I would feel guilty about it. So then I would skip meals, and I was just really, really hard on myself, and it was not a good time. My mom even did keto back then. She did really, really well. She did it the healthy way, obviously, but that's all up here. That was what was wrong with me. Other people that do keto, many of them probably don't have already pre-existing body image issues. So yeah, it was tough. But then I got pregnant, and from doing all those horrible things to my body previous years, I gained 80 pounds during my pregnancy. I'm 5'4", I'm very petite, so 80 pounds on me was a lot, and you could tell it was taking a toll on my body. My skin was just stretching and ripping. I have scars all over my body, from the stretch marks. It was just not a good time. You could tell that my metabolism had taken a hit from all those years of just doing horrible things. So after I had her, I already had body image problems, and then to see my body like that, and I thought I was big back before I had a baby, and then to see my body stretched and sagging and just me being overweight, it was so hard. And it took all of me to change the way. I had to rewire my brain and change the way I saw myself, and I had to do it the healthy way. I had to change, okay, it's not going to be something quick, it's not going to be something fast. I can't think that way. You can't lose weight to be healthy. You have to get healthy to lose weight. And you have to remember that, you guys, it starts with being healthy. So I started putting in the work. The first year postpartum, I slipped up a lot. I wasn't strict keto, but I fell off the wagon a lot, and I would go months of just eating high carb and binging and just horrible, horrible stuff. And then, it just clicked in my head, and I said, I'm miserable. Why am I doing this to myself? So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go in this cycle of eating keto, low carb, high fat, and then no, eating high carb, and then just keep going back and forth. I said, no, this is long term. This is going to be a lifetime adjustment. this is going to be a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And it takes a lot, you guys. It's not a quick, it's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle. You can't be like, okay, well, once I get to my goal weight, I'm just going to go back to eating my, the way I did before. You can't do that, because you're just going to gain it all back. You're going to be miserable. You don't want to do that. And now I look at keto differently. I don't look at it as it's like punishment. I don't look at it like, oh, I can't have that, I can't have that, oh, I wish I could have some cake. I've gotten more creative, and especially doing it with my fiance. He is so supportive. Doing this channel with me, I love it so much, and it's good to have a support system. Not having a support system, I know how it is, because before, all the other times I did keto, I didn't have a support system. I would go to family get-togethers and there'd be cake everywhere, cookies, and everybody would be like, oh, here, have some, and and it's hard because they made those, and you feel kind of guilty, like, if you're not going to eat their treats that they made and everything. So it's really hard. But now having a support system, it's a lot easier to stay on track. I would say I've been on strict keto now for about 3 months. I've also been doing intermittent fasting for that time. Tim started doing keto about a month and a half ago, and he's been so good. I mean, I am so proud of him. He used to eat pizzas every night. There was like no greens in his diet at all, and now he's having greens every day. It's all about being healthy, you guys, and I really, really feel like this is a game changer. This is not a diet. It's different. That it's not like any other weight loss system. It's not even a system. It's just, this is how we're supposed to eat, and not a lot of people know that. This is how we were eating way before all the man-made breads and all of that. You don't see a bread tree. No, we're supposed to eat meat. We're supposed to eat greens. Fruits are okay in small amounts because it does have natural sugar in it, and you are trying to keep that low. So all I'm trying to say here, guys, is it has changed my life for the better. I was depressed back then. And I felt like I was just in a constant battle, and I thought I was never going to, be satisfied with myself. And now I feel like I can go throughout the day and not feel guilty about what I eat, because I know I'm eating healthy. I know what I'm putting into my body is not going to do anything harmful. It's the idea that I had back then of beautiful is completely different now. I want to be healthy in the long run. I want to be on this earth for a long time. So alrighty, you guys, enough jibber jabber. I do want to mention too, I do not use a scale. I feel that weighing yourself on a scale, it's so outdated, you guys. Don't use a scale. I actually threw my scale away. Like, screw a scale, you guys. Get rid of it. Because let me tell you, the first month of keto, the first couple weeks you're going to drop a lot of weight, but it's all water weight. So as soon as you replenish all that water, you're going to start to bloat a little bit again. You're going to retain the water, but it's a little different because we're not consuming carbs that hang on to that. We're still going to have a little bit more water retention. So take measurements. Measurements are so important. You will lose more inches than scale weight, because if you're also working out, get this, if you are also working out, muscle weighs more than fat. So if you constantly are like weighing yourself and you're like, oh my god, I'm not losing any weight, screw this diet, well, you guys, hello, it's muscle. So you need to be taking measurements, especially like for me, the way I lose weight is it's from up here and it slowly goes down. I notice it here first, in my wrists, and then in my collarbone, and then my boobs, and then the last part that I lose weight is my hips, because obviously all women have hips. We're supposed to have fat around that area for like pregnancy and everything like that. So don't worry about that. But it will eventually go down. I don't plan on this puppy going down for a while because I did have a C-section and I have a lot of loose skin. So take measurements, you guys. So if you guys liked this video and you want to see more videos of, you know, candid videos of us just getting deep into the facts and things that nobody else talks about on keto, that's what this channel is really, really about. So if you guys want to see more, definitely like and subscribe, and we will see you guys soon.